Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. Guys, today on today's video, we're gonna be giving you a transfer rating. Remember how a couple weeks ago we did a transfer rating? We were talking about Jude Bellingham, and now we're gonna be talking about another set of players. But let me introduce my co-hosts for tonight, both Alex and Aldo.
Hey guys, what's
Alright.
up?
All right, both of them said what's up. But guys, before we get started on the video, remember to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Everything is at Cool It Podcast on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok. It's all the same. Go follow us over there. But guys, let's get started on today's video basically. And we're gonna be talking about Alexis. No, who do you guys want to talk about first?
I mean, since you already said his name, we'll talk about McAllister. But yeah, there's some big
McAllister.
signings we gotta consider today.
Well, you know what? Let's leave that to the end because there are a couple other Liverpool players that we are going to talk about. So let's talk about Andre Onana. We'll talk about him because that's actually a big signing right now. As you guys can see right there, look at that. Look at that. Looks absolutely amazing in the Manchester United kit. But Andre Onana, he has his move to Manchester United has been made official. Um, what are your guys' thoughts on Andre Onana? Do you guys think that he's going to be successful in Manchester United?
I mean, I think he's a great goalie. We saw it definitely in the Champions League this season in the final. For Inter, he was just phenomenal. Um, you know, with that being said, I think he's a great replacement for De Gea. I mean, we all know as a goalie, he's definitely gone downhill for some time now. But nonetheless, it's Man United is a team with a lot of expectations. They're known for having a horrible fan base. Just kidding, but no, there are a lot of expectations, a lot of criticisms that come with being a Man United player if you don't perform to the level that you're expected, right? Like it's a huge club, a lot of history, but I honestly think it's great business from Manchester United's perspective, just because they are signing a very promising young goalkeeper who we have seen is very solid in important games, can play with the ball well. He's a great shot stopper. And I honestly think it's great business for them. They replaced a position that they really needed to
Hmm.
to get in.
Yeah, basically, like David De Gea last season, like he made like way too many mistakes. And when you look at Manchester United, and you want to be challenging for the biggest of the trophies, you can't be having like a liability in the back. And bringing in Onana, a player who is good with his feet, who's very good at shot stopping, and you saw this in the Champions League final against Manchester City. He was actually key for a couple instances for the score not being maybe like 2 or 3-0 possibly, even though Inter Milan were the better team on the night. However, Andre Onana is going to Manchester United for 51 million euros plus a 4 million euros in add-ons, and on top of that, he's 27. He does have experience at the top level. He's played in some of the world's biggest games, for example. And this is a very very solid acquisition for Manchester United. However, and looking at the squad that they're building, the expectation for Manchester United is just to build on from last season because we saw them win a trophy and finish third. So now this season, Manchester United should be doing better. But I don't know. Do you think that Onana is going to be successful at Manchester United?
I think so for the simple reason that he's already been at the biggest stage in club football. He made it to UCL final against a very tough Man City squad, and like you said, he made some really good plays that prevented the score from being 2-3, maybe even 4-0. So he's got the experience at the highest level. He's a winner. Obviously, you're not a UCL winner, but you've made it there, and that makes you a winner. You made it all the way to a final, and now he wants to work from there. He wants to make it. He wants to win it all, and that's why a Man U team that has struggled in the recent years. That's exactly what they need. And with the recent decline in the past years, it was only a matter of time that they will move on from him. And who else better than one of the better up and coming goalkeepers in the world? So
Would you say that David Zahia is basically like decline started in that 2018 match against Spain, for example? Because like after that tournament, like he was just never the
again,
same.
look,
Because
look. Here's what I'm gonna say. 2018. I mean, yeah, he was horrible in the World Cup.
Oh yeah, and then
Once
after
you
that, like
see
his confidence was just
once you see Unai Simon be the starter for the Euros and for the World Cup over him, that's enough.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Unai Simon is not a top name. That's what I'm saying. So
No,
that's enough.
but he is a good goalkeeper. Like,
He is a good
uh,
goalkeeper, but
Yeah, but
comparing quality, like the has past quality runs laps around Unai Simon, but it shows you how big of a decline he's had. That he's no longer the number one option in Spain, and we see that Onana. That's probably one of the better available options to replace De Gea.
yeah, I honestly think De Gea in his prime, he was a phenomenal goalkeeper. I was
I agree.
always a big fan. I really liked how he played, solid for United and for Spain. But then you had the World Cup, and I think that was the beginning of his demise, right, of his downfall. But I will say this: looking at it from an objective point of view, I think this is a 9.5 transfer for Manchester United
I was gonna
because
give it a 9 just because you can't really like give anything much higher than that for a player that you don't know what he's gonna do in a different league. But I agree. I was gonna give it a 9. So
yeah, I had to give it a 9.5 because they're solving a huge issue that they have is that they don't have a good goalkeeper. And I think they got it for a reasonable price considering how good he's been this past season. 50 million, 50 something million, you said. I think that's fair. I don't know what you guys think, but that price for the quality they're getting, obviously, it depends on the player and how he plays after. But considering, I think it's good business to be fair.
yo, real quick for some sound testing, is the fan too loud or no?
no, it's perfectly fine.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
it sounds good. But I don't know. Rate Onana to Manchester United from a scaling of 1 through 10.
Yeah, no, it's like what I said. I will give it a 9. I wouldn't go higher like Alex did just because
Okay.
it is a very drastic change from one league to the other. We see that well, I used to have brain for the Italian league, bro. Serie A. I'm an
Yeah.
idiot. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, we see that league is very defensive, and obviously the pace of the game is way slower than in the Premier League. We see Premier League is probably the most, not probably, it is the most aggressive league in the world. So we'll see. We'll see how he performs. I'm giving it a 9 because it solves one of Manchester's biggest needs, and he is a top goalie, at least coming in right now. But we'll see how he performs in a different pace of game. But I really like the move.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about our second player. We're going to be talking about Gvardiol, the upcoming Manchester City center back, the Croatian center back, who Messi ran laps around. You guys can go on YouTube and you guys can search up Croatia versus Argentina versus Croatia.
Yo, all I'm gonna say is this:
Fantastic Messi assist,
just to
and
kick
then
off just talking about a signing. Now you have Ruben Diaz and Guardiola at the back.
oh,
That is gross.
actually,
That's just greedy, man.
That's gross.
That's just greedy.
That's gross.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna give
listen,
that. I'm also gonna give that. I'm not gonna give any of today's signings a 10. I'm gonna give this a 9.5, which I mean I'm kind of contradicting myself because he's coming into a new league. That's a great signing for them. He is a top center back coming into a top league in the world. And I mean, what else does Man City really need? That team is disgusting.
I think they need another midfielder. If I'm being
Maybe,
honest,
but
a
yeah,
creative
because you lose
midfielder.
on Guandogan, but that's what I'm saying.
well, I mean, they did bring in Kovacic, so we're gonna have to see how he
Yeah,
is in the
but
squad.
I honestly think Gundogan is so much better than Kovacic.
Okay,
Respectfully,
but in other
I
words,
like
Yeah,
Kovacic.
in
I
other
rate
words,
him.
you're right.
you can rank this center back duo up with any other one in the world.
And you're still not considering that whether he's playing the CDM position or defense, you still have John Stones and
Exactly.
Ake. And
And
you
a
still have
kanji,
Akanji.
like someone we
What
haven't
is
even
this? Like
mentioned.
this
And
guy's
you still
building
and,
two
and you
starting
still have
11.
Laporte, which I mean, look, I feel really bad for Laporte because he's a really good center back that is just being overshadowed by all these names in the
But
city.
it's injuries. I feel like injuries have
Yeah,
also killed it for him.
That's
exactly.
why
Like, hey,
that's
like
why
if you can't be
last
playing,
year
like what can you
last
do?
year last year I was really excited about the possibility of him coming to Barca. Right now, I mean, that's not really feasible as of now. But I think he's still a really, really, really nice
No,
backup for City.
but would you even want Laporte at Barcelona? Because, for example,
Last year I did. This year,
how about now?
not so much because I mean, okay, let's run through our. You know what? It's not about Barca, but I mean, our defense right
Oh no,
now. I
like
mean,
no, but exactly. Like I'm perfectly fine with my defense. Like we have Balde as a starting. We have back basically. We have Inigo as cover, and then that's super solid. Though the only issue in our defense, I'm possibly thinking is maybe like, hey, we need to bring in someone for like the right center back spot. I mean the right back and
bro,
a
honestly,
backup left back just
at
to
this
be
point,
absolutely covered and
at
solid
this
and
point,
everywhere.
the right back is it's a lost battle. It's gonna be Conde, Sergio Dest backing him up, and then we're gonna see the captains, Sergi.
bro, bro, no way is Serginho Dest gonna be our backup right back.
Okay, I mean,
Actually, I think
we've
crazy.
been hearing about that, and how many? Because we know that he's not gonna get much playtime. It's gonna be Conde and Araujo taking turns at right back. How many right backs that are as decent as him are backups? Not that many. So he's
You're
and
right.
he's not as defensive as one would like to be a right back, but he's a good replacement, bro. Not a
Okay.
replacement, but a good substitution late in game.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean, like,
I
hey,
will
like,
I will say this
what?
real quick. I'm going away from this with the subject because now we're diving into the greatest right back of all time, Sergio Dest.
Bro,
But I will,
bro, are you forgetting about Sergio Roberto?
that's the
And
second best.
that's the
That's the
goal.
second.
That's the second best.
The goal.
Or Douglas, bro.
Okay, but
Playing like 3 matches and winning 2 La Liga titles.
jeez,
Matching CR 37.
that's crazy. But listen, I will say this. Gvardiol is a great piece of business done by City once again. We know how smart Guardiola is with the signings. Even Jack Grealish has been a good signing for City, and we all criticized him. So, obviously, it's not the same case. This is a very exciting young talent. We saw a great performance from him in the World Cup against even Argentina. I think he played well against. Obviously, Messi lowered his price tag a little bit, as Guardiola did say. No, but it was true.
Yeah,
Guardiola
it
did
is
say
true.
that thanks Messi for lowering the price tag. Um, but he's a phenomenal player. We just have to see how he performs. But I'm gonna give this a 9. I think it's a great deal that City got, and yeah, I mean, City
Yeah,
are becoming the real
the
villains.
what's it called? The price tag is roughly going to be around like 85 to 90 million actually.
Yeah, but with the inflation and with how much hype there is, I think so be it. Maybe it could be a little better. Maybe it could be an 8.5 instead of a 9 just because of the money. But still, you got to
Mhm.
consider that this is not just any talent, right? This is arguably the most exciting young talent in football right now.
Yeah, what's it called? As a defender, we have to remember he's super young. Wait, let me look up his age.
I think he's like
Just
21, 22. He's
21. Yeah, 21. That's actually crazy.
What are we doing, bro?
Exactly. Well, what are we doing? Um, but what's it called? I wouldn't even say that Manchester City's like their biggest problem was in their defense. However, if you have potentially Walker going to Bayern Munich, you have Laporte leaving as well. You're going to need that depth. And he's such a quality signing. There was some issues that Fabrizio Romano did report on. However, it seems that it's still likely going to go through. It's basically official. And once again, Manchester City are making another smart signing, and like how they do business. They scout very good players. They sign them for cheap, and they also add in like a star or two for that like big price tag, which like benefits them. For example, you have a Kanji. A player who coming in for like 15 million euros. You have Julian Alvarez coming in for very cheap, and then you bring in like a big money moves signing, such as Erling Haaland, for example, and just they complement each other so well. And I'm super excited to see Manchester City with Gvardiol, just because I think it's going to be such a fantastic look um, for Manchester City. And even then, like I wouldn't say their defense was a problem last season. But now, we're going to be talking about our next player. We're going to be talking about Alexis McAllister. We're actually going to be talking about Liverpool because they actually made 2 signings, which I think are 2 signings to keep an eye on. You have Alexis McAllister, World Cup winner, just to mention, and then you also have I completely butchered. Uh,
Szoboszlai.
yeah, Slobozai. the young, I think, Hungarian player. He's yeah, slow, but I have it right here. All right,
He's from
before
Hungary. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But we're gonna talk about Alexis McAllister first, and I would say he's gonna he's gonna be such a good bonus to Liverpool's midfield because the entire narrative last season was like, oh my gosh, Liverpool's midfield is just they don't have a midfield. You have a combination of Henderson and Milner playing in that midfield. Like, like what are we doing? Fabinho, he's like his Brazilian passport has been revoked. He's not Brazilian anymore, just because like you can't be Brazilian and play that badly. Um, and so like Liverpool's midfield was like so atrocious last season that they just needed to reinforce that area. And Alexis McAllister was one of those players that they bought from Brighton. And when I think about the fee, I think that is tremendous business from Liverpool because you have other players like Caicedo, Rice. Their price tag is like 100 million plus, and McAllister is only 35 million. That's actually
That's a
crazy to
steal.
think about. That's a
That's
steal.
that's a steal.
That's a steal.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning. I think Liverpool is a team that when they need to, they do good business. We've seen that in the past with players like Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane. Well, I'm talking about them not transferring Mane because I think that was horrendous. But what player that they have bought, like for example, Corey Gakpo, I think is good. Edwin Nunez, not so much, but there's still time for him to prove everyone wrong. I mean, not Edwin, Darwin.
Yeah, Darwin.
But yeah, but I think McAllister is a great signing for Liverpool. We've seen how important he was for Argentina in the World Cup, and we see what a good player he is. He's a very calming presence in the midfield, someone who can move the ball well, create chances, and just hold possession. And I think it's really smart from Liverpool because they do need to improve that midfield. It's a very weak midfield, and last season we saw that a lot, especially with how badly they played. Um, but I will say this: I think McAllister is a 10 out of 10 signing for Liverpool, just because you look at the price tag, it's a steal. He's a phenomenal player, prem proven already, World Cup winner. I think honestly, this is the only 10 I'm giving out today, just because of how insane of a signing this is, and I think it's gone under a lot of people's radar, just because maybe he's not as exciting as say Mbappe or something like that,
Yeah,
right? But
like a big name.
yeah, but this guy he's something else, and I think we're gonna be seeing a lot more from him this season.
The most important thing about this signing is what Alex said. He is prem proven, so he has scored up against all these big rivals, all of Liverpool's biggest rivals, and I mean, it is a great deal by Liverpool. Like you said, 35 million. That is, I'm not gonna call it a bargain, but for someone that has the potential that McAllister has, it is a great deal for them.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it is a bargain, like
I mean,
35 mil.
for a World Cup winner, just
Exactly.
mention that.
And
Okay,
so,
right.
yeah,
I'm
and
sorry,
not
sorry,
just
Elias.
like,
I'm very sorry, Elias.
yeah,
No,
no,
no, no,
no,
no, no, no, no. Like it's actually like
No,
something
no, you're
to
right,
take into account.
and that also the idea of being a winner. And people underestimate that having the more winners you have in your clubhouse or in your locker room, the more different the vibe is heading into every game. And so Macacho is gonna be a big piece for this team, like you guys said, for a Liverpool midfield that was not good last year. So I mean, yeah, I'll give it a 9 and a 9.5. I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
for him to be a
Okay. Just hold off on that because what's it called? I do want to link both transfer Szoboszlai as well, because he was also transferred to Liverpool, and these are two signings that Liverpool have made. As you can see, the Hungarian player, and what's it called? He's a player who's very good for RB Leipzig. He's 22 years old, and I've actually seen a couple games of him, and he was actually very exciting. He plays really well. Just the question I want to pose to you guys are both of these signings enough to push Liverpool for that Champions League spot? Because we do have to remember that Liverpool finished in the Europa League. They did not make the Champions League, and they do have two midfielders leaving, both Henderson and Fabinho. They're being linked with moves away to Saudi Arabia. I think Henderson has already received the here we go,
Did
and
you
then
see Henderson getting hate from different let's call different social groups
oh
regarding
yeah,
his
what's it called?
his moves to Saudi Arabia?
No, I'm just saying like, hey, Saudi Arabia would like go for the bag because like,
Yeah.
guys, the amount of money that Saudi Arabia is throwing around is actually crazy.
It's making me
Um,
it's making me lose respect for a lot of players that still have a lot of years left. Because other vets, okay, but some players that still have a good 3, 4, 5 years of good high quality football and that are leaving. I lose a lot of respect for that. But Henderson, he's already done enough, so he can leave.
no, but like, hey, I had this conversation with another people on a different podcast. It was okay. Only 1% of football players actually get remembered in like 20 to 30 years time, for example. Are you gonna remember, for example, Sergio Roberto in Barcelona squad? Are you gonna
Of
remember
course, that's the greatest player of all time.
No,
no, no, no. Are you gonna
but that's
remember,
the
like, for example, Pedro? No, in 20,
but
30 years times?
but
No, no, you're not. You're gonna remember the greats in the
look.
squad.
Here's the thing. I'm not talking about being remembered 20, 30 years from now. I'm talking about being like winning the league, winning the UCL, like things like that. And even then, when you are in the middle of your prime or you're towards the end of your prime, but you still have years of your top of your highest level of performing, you might as well just stay in Europe and then wait 2, 3 years to
No,
leave.
no, well, okay, but let's put what's it called? The angle that I'm coming here is that Saudi Arabia is offering you basically like generational wealth. Like it's actually crazy. Brozovic, he went to Saudi Arabia for 100 million in 3 years. Like I'm sorry, like are you gonna turn that down for like let's say a potential league title?
Now, look, I'm talking right now as a fan. Obviously, as a player, if I'm offered that much money, I'm gonna have a different mindset and maybe a different process to come up to like what I want to sign with. But as a fan, seeing people like N'Golo Kante and Mane leaving to Saudi Arabia when they had enough time, when they have more than enough time to be here and keep competing in Europe, is disappointing. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand what Alvaro is saying. You know, from the point of view of a fan, you want to see your players at the top level, and you want to see them play for your favorite clubs. And
Hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care how much of a fan you are. I know most of CR7 fans don't watch the
no,
Saudi
I
league,
don't.
and I know,
No,
and I
no,
know,
you guys don't. You guys do
yeah,
not
like
watch.
I
You
know
guys
you're
watch
gonna
the
say you do, but
highlights. You guys watch the highlights, and
no
you
one
guys
watches
post
those
about the
games.
highlights.
No one watches those games. Very few
You guys
people do.
post the highlights.
And on top of that, you know, like even me, like I'll watch Inter Miami just because it's on. But it's like if I and it because it's like convenient for the time zone, right? But I wouldn't wake up at like 7 in the morning to watch Inter games. I'm
No,
so
well,
sorry.
no, hold on. It's the GOAT. It's the greatest of all
It
time.
is the goal. It is the goal.
It's
But
the
if it was
GOAT.
just like a regular match day, I'm not gonna wake up at 6 to watch them like potentially lose like 3-0 and Messi
No,
score
no,
like
what's it called,
a
guys?
goal
Guys,
and
like
Messi score.
I don't know if you guys have watched, but Inter Miami, they're so bad. Like
They're
I'm
no like
sorry.
I was seeing their
Hey
defense
man,
and I'm like, wow, I
they
can
are
start here.
one. They are one.
Sorry.
They're undefeated in the Messi era, right?
They're undefeated. No, but think about it. 11 games without a win. Messi comes first win. That's actually crazy. It's the
Coincidence?
GOAT. He's
I
the GOAT.
think
He's the
not.
GOAT. He's the GOAT. I'm sorry.
Coincidence? I think not.
Coincidence, I think. No, but like
Okay,
I'm
but
sorry. All
look,
right.
okay, we've completely gone away from the subject and haven't
Yeah,
gotten my word.
exactly.
I think
Exactly.
Szoboszlai is a great player for Liverpool. I give this an 8.5. Actually, I'll give it an 8 because yes, he's good, but I feel like I haven't seen enough of him, and I feel like the world hasn't seen enough of him. Like we know what a good player he has been for Leverkusen, right? That's the team he came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we see how good he's been for
Oh
Leverkusen
no, not Leverkusen. RB Leipzig.
or RB Leipzig. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
my
confusing
bad.
him with someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we see how good he's been for Leipzig. Personally, I've only seen some of his highlights. I don't watch a lot of Bundesliga. Um, but I understand the hype around him, and again, I think it's an important player for midfield for Liverpool, considering that their midfield has been suffering and that they are losing players. But again, do I think he has a chance to play good in the Prem? Maybe he's not Prem proven. We've seen in the last few years German players have not done well in the Premier League. Werner and Havertz are clear examples of that. Um,
Hey, do you guys see a banger for Harris with Arsenal? You guys have
Uh,
anyway,
against the
guys,
MLS.
that signing is so
Hey
bad.
man,
Like,
watch.
hey, we mentioned it. We mentioned
He's
it.
gonna make you eat your words. He's gonna have to eat those words.
but look,
No.
honestly, I think it's good. It's a good deal for Liverpool. Well done again. Respect to Klopp and to the owners because Liverpool is a team that doesn't spend a lot, but when they do, they tend to spend their money well.
Okay.
But we just have to see because I do see a lot of problems with Liverpool's defense, and they haven't really addressed that.
Okay.
So I think Liverpool's defense is well on the decline, and we've seen it this season as well. But we'll have to see.
Okay. I as a response to my question, where do you think Liverpool is going to finish with the addition of these two signings of both
I think
McAllister and Szoboszlai?
I think they are finishing in fourth place or fifth because
Fifth.
they
Okay.
unless they address their defense, it's not gonna be an easy season for them. And believe it or not, I see a lot of contenders for the top four. Obviously, Man City is gonna be there. United will be there this season as well. I see them playing well. Um, I will go out and say that Spurs, and I know I don't mean this as a joke, but generally Spurs are building a good team around them, and they are looking very solid in preseason. Always a top four contender.
I see Liverpool finishing in four spots away from Tottenham.
Wait.
Hey,
And believe it or not, I'm gonna say something that maybe contradicts what I think, but
But
I also think Chelsea are gonna be good this season.
you really think so? Wait, I actually have Chelsea finishing fourth.
Because
No, wait. No, because okay, see, because Newcastle have reinforced with Tonali,
and
and
Newcastle
what's it
as
called,
well. That's my
and
point. So
Barnes.
Liverpool,
Newcastle are there.
Liverpool are gonna have to work very hard this season to be able to get those top four. And
Mhm.
again, there's a lot of competition all around. There's a lot of teams that are making good signings. It all depends. It depends on how the season goes.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of names.
guys, we will be making a video talking about like, hey, our actual like as soon as the transfer window ends, basically, or and basically all the teams like basically make their signings, we will be making a video just like, hey, talking about like, hey, how is each team positioned to basically fight for the title or anything, and where will they finish? We'll do like a Premier League predictor or anything like that. And we'll also
Mark
do a La Liga predictor.
mark my words. Derby County is getting into the Premier League next year and pulling a Leicester.
Playing a Leicester, yo, guys.
Okay,
Did
well,
you
Heard it here
remember
first.
Lynn?
okay, well,
You heard it
my
here first.
turn about this
Yeah.
signing. I'm gonna give it an 8, maybe a 7.5, like Alex said, an 8.
Okay.
Because I mean, again, I don't watch much Bundesliga. I've heard good things about him, but again, it is from Leipzig is one of the better teams in the Bundesliga. But again, it is a big leap. Like I said, we have seen German players or players period that have played in the Bundesliga not transition so well into the Premier League. We saw Jadon Sancho when he first got here, Harvitz, all those names. So we will see how he does. I mean, again, like Alex said, Liverpool does spend their money well, but I mean, I don't got much to say. An 8 because Liverpool is paying attention to their needs, but
Those are not all their needs.
No, exactly, and they did spend like big money, on this transfer. However, I don't
yeah,
know that both of these players are enough to basically boost their squad. But we do have to remember that they played really well, towards the end of last season. They picked up their form and they were doing really well. And I do believe that Liverpool is going to be making the Champions League, next season. However, I don't know if that's going to be at the detriment of, for example, let's say, possibly a Newcastle, or because there's so many people like fighting for that top four.
Yeah,
is
this is
is
gonna
it
be one
still
of the most
true that
competitive seasons so
wait,
far.
is it still true that Newcastle makes it to the UCL? Ronaldo will be playing for them. Is that true?
No, Ronaldo staying in Saudi Arabia.
Wait, but
Yeah.
was that a real thing last season, or was it just like was it made up?
Oh, I mean, like it was a rumor. However, I don't think it's going to be true just because like
That'd be
he's
hilarious.
finished.
That'd
He's
be hilarious.
finished. But it would be hilarious and everything.
They bring him in for
Um,
penalties. That's it.
bring him in for penalties,
Yeah.
basically. But like as I said, it's going to be very, exciting to see Liverpool, to see how they do. But guys, that was it for our transfer rating for, tonight's episode. There weren't that many transfers. We will be making more videos talking about the transfers, players such as, for example, Alan St. Max, Raul Jimenez, and possibly Mbappe, because there are some rumors that Mbappe is going to be going to Real Madrid. He has been excluded from PSG's squad.
He's going to Spurs. Tom Holland confirmed it.
Honestly, honestly, I'm gonna say
bro,
I
how
have,
are Arsenal and Tottenham even in the conversation to get him?
I have
I find that funny. I don't.
I have no fucking clue how Madrid, because one thing is leaving for free, another thing is having to. I have no idea how much the price tag has been placed on him. Madrid cannot afford that. All of you that are talking about Madrid getting him right now, there's something called fair play. You can't just.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for them, bro.
That's what I'm
Because
saying.
everyone in La Liga is a Madrid fan. We've already gone over this.
Exactly, bro. Hey,
There's no way that they just go in and just buy Mbappe from PSG. That's not gonna happen. And maybe this year, not this year.
I
exactly.
honestly think
Maybe
Mbappe,
after they lose a Liga twice to Barca, maybe they'll go after Mbappe.
I feel like Mbappe is gonna stay with PSG this season.
And Dude.
I know it sounds weird, but I don't think he's burned the bridges yet. I think that maybe
No, but
he's
it makes
having
sense.
it
No,
doesn't make sense, but I don't think any team right now can seriously be in the position to say, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna get Mbappe," because he's
Yeah.
such an expensive player.
No, for example, like you're completely right. If I was Mbappe, bro, stay at PSG, get the bag. Like for example, like he's gonna collect the last year of his salary
get another
at
title.
PSG. Yeah, what's it called? You're gonna get your loyalty bonus. You're gonna get the Ligue 1, bro. You're gonna be set. But however, there is some rumors that he has a offer from Saudi Arabia for only 1 year, so he'll go to Saudi Arabia for this year.
If he goes to Saudi Arabia, I'm not watching football ever again.
He's gonna pay like $5 billion, dog.
Basically. But guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's transfer rating video. And guys, as always, remember, like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you guys all in the next video.